Hi people, Esmeralda here again. And maybe this show should be called Middle-aged Lady in a Car. Like the old man in a chair from the UK, Vernon Coleman. I guess one of the reasons I'm sharing this video when I'm driving right now is because life is on the move, and sometimes when I'm driving around, hanging out with friends or my stepdad or people I'm really close to, I'm like, you want to ride with me? And they're like, sorry, I'm not into riding with anyone. Or some people are like, really? Are you sure? But I gotta do this, I gotta do that. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but time is of the essence and time goes by real fast. So why not ride with me in my car so we can have a chat and talk about life, you know, and then we can catch up. And it's true, it's like all about catching up. But one thing I will say, if you guys get one of these magnets that's meant to be on your dashboard like this, so that you can either watch videos or talk to people or check your messages and not, you know, have like a hands-free device and not be all up in your phone, I really recommend that you keep your eyes on the road, because it can be pretty dangerous if you're not paying attention. So let me share something very interesting, or it might be interesting to you, might not. I just want to be raw at the moment, and I just want to be real. I believe that there's certain people in this world that really value honesty and truth, and they're just kind of tired of all the fakeness and all the how life can be so easy and positive. And there's even a book out there called Unfuck Yourself, you know, excuse my language if you don't like cuss words, but there's a lot of messages out there in the world. I don't really like to talk like that unless I'm like really upset. You know, you're very close to me, I can express myself. I don't feel like I'm gonna be put on a stand to be judged, you know, because I'm a Christian and then I'm cussing, and it's just, you know, it can get really ugly. So it's best not to cuss. I rather just respect everyone and do the best I can. So excuse me again if I cussed, but sometimes, like yesterday, I cussed on a video, and hopefully that's not going to get me all up in trouble for that. But anyways, I wanted to share a confession. I think that since I was younger, I was very moody. I mean, I think one of the times I started noticing I was moody was when I was like 11 years old. And why was I moody? I was moody and upset because it was hot. I also didn't like LA. I lived in LA. I was born in Harbor City, lived in Long Beach, then moved to Huntington Park, then Southgate, and there's a whole lot of stories of my life and details and things. But my point here is I didn't like LA. There was a lot of noise. There was a lot of big fat roaches on the street, especially at night. I mean, very long roaches. They were like this big and this long. And they were just nasty. I even saw like a big rat or even a possum on a phone line. So, you know, I didn't like it. And I felt that a lot of times my mom just wasn't really around. And I felt that I really started beginning to have a relationship with my mom. Like, babe, what's up? Like maybe after I was 15, 16, because before that she wasn't really around. She was always working as a nurse, and there was a lot of nannies and babysitters that would, you know, come around. I mostly remember my babysitters making food and, you know, making sure that they were there, but they were mostly doing chores and cleaning. They weren't really like in our presence. If I remember my childhood, I was always out on the street, either biking, rollerblading, playing hide and seek, or getting into trouble doing some silly things. So that's a topic for that's a story for another day. But basically what I wanted to say is the confession I'm making right now is that my mother would ask me too later on in life, like before she died, years before that. She's like, Esmeralda, I think there's something wrong, like with I feel like you have a mood issue, like you're really moody. And I might be moody, but I'm also very expressive. I also feel very deeply. I feel deep things. I think I can feel energy from people, like whether it's good or bad. I usually don't let it affect me, but when I have a responsibility, it can get really intense. That's when my feelings show on my face, is when some things of my responsibility. A while back when I was opening my salon and getting it ready, I was so overwhelmed that I looked like I was probably gonna like try to gasp for air, or I felt like I was gonna cry or laugh or drop down at any minute. You know, I had a lot of emotions because it was very overwhelming, a lot of things that were going on when I was setting up the salon. And one guy, a good friend of mine, goes, "Wow, Esmeralda, you really hold your emotions on your face." And it's like, yeah, I do. And then no one really knew what was going on. They didn't know if I was capable of running a business. There was just a lot of like thoughts about who I was as a person and a future business owner. So glad I did that, and I know I did pretty good. Running a business is not easy, but it's definitely fun if you love what you're doing and if you can stay committed and not be distracted. So I was never really distracted. I didn't have a child. I was just a wife, and my husband did his work, and we did pretty good, you know, keeping in touch and coming home when we wanted to come home and relax. But relationships have its issues. Family life, being a mom, a dad, has its issues. So what I wanted to just confess here is that I'm not a perfect person, and I might seem like very friendly and outgoing and everything, and that's all true. I believe in like having fun and staying, you know, positive and everything, and getting along with everybody. But wow, life can be really intense. So this is part of the reason I'm sharing this, because maybe some of you out there have your own struggles. I just wanted to let you know that nothing is impossible. Anything can be worked out. If you feel overwhelmed, please tell your friends, tell your family. Do it in love, in kindness, as much as possible. And I know that we get moody, and it's okay if you have a breakout, like a breakdown or whatever. I'm just letting you know it's gonna be all right. You know, don't make your life so hard on yourself. I believe all of you are very beautiful, precious people. And my mother was the kind of person that she would hear people's problems and she would start crying with them. The video I shared last with the prayer and crying, it was just a very emotional moment that after I was singing that, I felt like the back of my head was tingling, and it felt very strange. So maybe it's kind of one of those physiological effects after we communicate. It's kind of like standing up and having a speech, making a speech for people. It has different effects on our body. Stress has a different effects on our body. Joy, excitement, fear, anger, you know, it has all its ramifications. Ramifications, if you don't know, means consequences. Everything in life has consequences. And I'm not no doctor. I'm not like no high important person in life. I'm just a regular human being that wants to do right. Regular citizen of America and of this county. And I just want to encourage all of you to do good today and to have fun. And if you need to talk, you need someone to talk to, if you want to reach out to me, you're more than welcome to reach out. I'm just sharing my heart because I think it's good to just have a voice in the world to express that life, friendships, family, marriage, it's not easy, you know, but it's definitely possible. A lot of wonderful things can happen. I'm still in awe when my husband says negative words out of his mouth when I'm trying to have a conflict resolution moment, when I'm trying to see what's going on with him, why is he so upset. I want to ask him a question like, hey, do you want to work on our marriage? Are you all right? And his comments a lot of times are, it's late. I don't think I want to talk about this. And it's like, finally yesterday I was like, well, you're on your way to go have some ice cream. Can you please sit down for a moment? I'd like to ask you a question. And he actually did, but he didn't like it. And he wanted to put it away for another day, the conversation. So I said, you typically don't want to talk about this, so do you want to continue to not talk about it? Because we're either going to talk about it or not. And then he looks at the clock a few times and he goes, it's really late. I have to go to work tomorrow. And it's like, yes, I understand that. You always have to go to work tomorrow. You have a lot of things on your plate. Would you like to talk about it for once and maybe lose some sleep a little bit and actually talk about it? And it was pretty cool to actually see him calm down, like, after it's been some years. I mean, he's had different reactions over the years, but this time he was like, kind of calm. But sometimes during the conversation, he would say things that were very, like, awestrucking, like, wow, that sounded very painful what you just said. And when are we going to actually agree or be on the same lane together? A few times he raised his voice. I said, please lower your voice. I think I barely heard Bella do a little crack of a cry last night, but she stayed in bed. Everything was good. So I even said, hey, I was thinking something. I feel like you would just totally laugh at me if I offered you to do a love dare, because it's for marriages that are not working or that need help. I feel like you would just laugh and mock it and make fun of it. And he really started laughing. He literally just started making this face like, I'm like, am I right? Is that why you're laughing? And point blank here, what I'm thinking is, my husband is pretty darn intelligent, but he's also just much older. He's 11 years older than me. And I said, so what are we going to do about our marriage? And then he looks at me and he goes, well, I'll just wait till you wise up. Man. So I'm in a very difficult situation, you guys. I feel like I'm pretty wise, okay? And if I make a mistake around my husband, he makes me hear it like it's the worst thing in the world. Like, I feel like I'm under him. Like I am a teenager and he's like my father. That is my situation. So you might have a different situation. Everybody's got their own crazy situation. I pray that whatever you're going through, whatever personality you have in your life, I hope that you can find a way to talk about it, because a lot of people do not talk about things. And if you can find a peaceful moment to reach out to somebody, whether it be a therapist or the person that is your contender, I recommend that you make it happen one way or another, because it will definitely help your mindset, your body, your future, your present moment. And I gotta say, I've been with my husband since 2010. We've been together since 2010 January. And even though it hasn't been hard, people would look at us and go, wow, you guys are pretty blessed. You're doing pretty good. But again, we cannot keep judging what we see on the outside, because what we see on the outside is not technically what's going on in the inside. So please be grateful for your life and also work it out. It's going to be all right, you guys. But just remember, everything in this life has consequences. And I hope your consequences are amazing. All right? I'll catch y'all later. And looks like there's a fireman helping somebody. That's pretty darn cool. Ooh, yeah. Good, awesome people. honk for the people when they're doing good things.